What's happening, y'all? So I wanted to mention what it's like to live in Florida. All right, so I've traveled across the United States. I've lived in different areas. You know, I was growing up in Kansas. I moved to Florida after I graduated from the University of Kansas, and I came down here, and I'm actually, you know, in Sarasota, Florida. Holler at me, whatever. But when I made that initial jump, you know, it's always new. Even if you move from Florida to Kansas, that would be new. But there are a lot of different nuances that I wasn't used to. So one of the biggest ones and obvious ones is the climate. The climate in Florida, to me personally, is wonderful. Even on the hot days, yes, it sucks unless you work outside, you know, and even then, it's still hot in Kansas. I love it. I love that I'm not cold. I could not stand being cold. In Florida, and I should have had all these key points, but I'll tell you. Living in Florida is amazing. There's a lot of water. Now, depending on where you live in Florida, you know, is going to dictate how much water there is. But there seems to be like a pond or a lake or something somewhere in a neighborhood all the time. All the time. And I absolutely love that. I love the water. I live very close to the ocean, at least the Gulf side. It's beautiful here. Doesn't get cold. You don't have winters. You don't have this slush. You don't have that terrible feeling that, you know, cold gets in your bones. It physically hurts, which I love. I just have never really liked that. Even, you know, when I was a kid, I just never liked the cold. I just never liked it. Now, there are old people here. There just are. You do have your younger places. So Sarasota is becoming a little younger. You do have places like Tampa, St. Pete, which I love, St. Pete. I'm sure that if you know, maybe Gainesville is probably younger people, you know, around FSU, whatever it is, you know, college kind of campuses, you're going to have younger people. But yeah, you will have older people, it's true. A lot of people come down here to retire, and why wouldn't they? It stays sunny all year round. It's amazing. I love that. There's always something to do because you do have these retirees. You do have people that want entertainment. You have people that vacation down here all the time. And that was another thing. So people that come down here, and okay, so they're called snowbirds. And what happens is the people that may have two homes, you know, or condos or whatever it is, they'll spend 6 months in Florida in the winter months. And then when it starts to get warm in other parts of the United States, they'll move back. And a lot of them are from the Northeast, a lot of New Yorkers, you know, Boston, kind of New Jersey. I'm not really too familiar with there. I've been to New York City a couple times. But yeah, they come up from the Northeast and they'll come down here for, you know, the 6 months or however long, and they go back. And that was something that was very interesting. You have snowbirds, and you'll notice the traffic is so much different when it's in those winter months because there are so many more people here. There just are. There's so many more people driving the streets, just around doing things, and that's honestly, I really enjoy that because there's this bar that's close to my house, and they'll be playing music on the weekends. For example, like over the weekend, you know, I saw them on the Friday night. Friday night is always, you know, the busiest time to go out, whatever, and it's not nearly as many people at that bar than there are during the snowbirds, during the winter time. And I love that because you get booked, because you kind of get this quiet time, and then you know, all these people come down and they want to have fun, and they, you know, they enjoy it, and they enjoy Florida. And what I've noticed about Florida also is that it's crazy. You know, you have crazy people. It's because all these different people are moving from other parts of the United States. I mean, almost you don't really meet too many Florida natives. You will. I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying it's more prevalent that you had somebody that was maybe growing up somewhere else and then they moved here, rather than, hey, I've lived here my whole life and that's where, you know, I always stayed. Maybe they were like me, they wanted adventure, they didn't like the cold, whatever it was. Living in Florida, there's always something to do. You can rent boats. The ocean is amazing. You can go to Disney. You can go to Miami. There's all sorts of cool restaurants. You know, the animals, the ocean life, the nightlife seems to be great. You know, people want to have a good time. I will say that it's not Midwestern. You're not going to get, it's not as hospitable, and what that means is not that the living conditions, but as far as the hospitality goes, you're gonna definitely have different people here. I went to the bookstore one day, and it was when the Kansas City Chiefs played the New England Patriots, and this guy, it was an old man, old, white hair, old man, had a Patriots, you know, jacket on. I said, man, you guys were close, you know, we almost had you beat. And he looked at me, I swear to God, this is a true story. He looked at me and he said, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I said, the New England Patriots, what do you, and he said, get the hell out of here. He said, get the hell out of here in a bookstore. Now, whatever, maybe he's just a grumpy old guy, who knows, his wife could have just passed. I mean, you don't know, right? Now, was it necessary? Absolutely not. But I did initiate the conversation. I kind of opened that up. You know, maybe he was so prevalent, you know, his son played for him or whatever it is. But you're not gonna find the Midwestern values of treating strangers like your neighbors. You're just not. That's just not really here. You're gonna find nice people, but that's the difference. Now, there is a different style of houses. There's a different look to things. There's a different feel. But overall, I'll travel, and I've traveled throughout Florida, and it's great. I mean, just different parts, you know, are just different. They just are. You know, you have Miami, which is totally different. Then you have Sarasota, which is totally different than St. Pete, which is totally different than Naples. You know, it's all different. In the northern part of Florida, it does get colder. I have seen that. And I've actually driven from where I'm at in Sarasota. Actually, I didn't drive there, but we flew into Georgia, Atlanta, and then drove up to Tennessee, and it was cold. It was warm in Florida, and it was cold, like jacket cold. I had to go buy a jacket at the store, like cold. So there is a vast difference in the heat, and that's probably the biggest thing. Come on down. Love Florida. I'm trying to get my family to move out here. So if you have any questions, you know, let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, and I will get back to you. All right, peace. Holla at you, boy.